Imagine having so much money that you can't even count it all. So much money that stacks of cash are hidden in warehouses, buried underground, and stored in secret locations across entire countries. So much money that losing millions of dollars doesn't even make a difference. The people on this list didn't become rich through technology, business, or investing. They built their fortunes through drug trafficking, organized crime, smuggling, fraud, and illegal empires that stretched across the globe. Some became richer than celebrities. Some became richer than kings. And all of them left a mark on criminal history. Today, we're counting down the top 10 richest criminals of all time. Number 10. Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas started life in poverty in rural North Carolina. But by the 1970s, he had become one of America's most notorious heroin traffickers. Lucas claimed he cut out middlemen and bought heroin directly from suppliers in Southeast Asia. This allowed him to make enormous profits while undercutting his competitors. At the height of his operation, he accumulated millions of dollars and lived a lavish lifestyle filled with luxury cars, expensive homes, and designer clothing. His story later inspired the blockbuster film American Gangster. However, like many criminals before him, his empire eventually collapsed. He was arrested, convicted, and lost much of the fortune he had spent years building. Number 9. Semyon Mogilevich. Unlike many names on this list, Semyon Mogilevich is not widely known to the public. But among law enforcement agencies, he is often described as one of the most powerful organized crime figures in modern history. The alleged Russian mob boss has been linked to fraud, money laundering, racketeering, and international criminal enterprises. What makes Mogilevich particularly fascinating is the mystery surrounding his wealth. Experts have struggled for decades to estimate how much money he actually controls. Some believe his fortune reaches into the billions. Because so much of his wealth is hidden behind offshore companies and complex financial networks, the true number may never be known. Number 8. Meyer Lansky. Meyer Lansky was known as the financial genius of the American Mafia. While other gangsters relied on violence and intimidation, Lansky focused on money. He built an empire through gambling operations, casinos, and sophisticated money laundering schemes. Many historians consider him one of the smartest criminals who ever lived. His financial influence extended across the United States and beyond. At the height of his power, the wealth connected to his operations would be worth billions in today's money. Lansky proved that in organized crime, intelligence can be just as valuable as brute force. Number 7. Al Capone. Few criminals are as famous as Al Capone. During Prohibition, Capone transformed illegal alcohol sales into a massive criminal empire. His organization controlled speakeasies, gambling operations, protection rackets, and smuggling routes throughout Chicago. Money poured in from every direction. At his peak, Capone was earning an estimated $100 million per year. Adjusted for inflation, that's worth several billion dollars today. Ironically, despite being linked to numerous violent crimes, Capone was ultimately brought down by something much simpler. Tax evasion. The man who ruled Chicago's underworld was defeated by accountants. Number 6. Griselda Blanco. Known as the godmother of cocaine, Griselda Blanco became one of the most powerful women in criminal history. She played a major role in establishing cocaine trafficking routes between Colombia and the United States. Her operations generated enormous profits, reportedly bringing in tens of millions of dollars every month. Blanco's rise was fueled by both business skills and extreme violence. Authorities linked her to numerous murders during her reign. Despite the bloodshed, she built a criminal fortune estimated at around $2 billion. To this day, she remains one of the most feared female criminals ever documented. Number 5, Carlos Lader. Carlos Lader helped revolutionize drug trafficking. As one of the founders of the Medellin cartel, he recognized the importance of air transportation. Lader purchased an island in the Bahamas and transformed it into a major hub for cocaine shipments headed to the United States. The strategy was incredibly successful. Within a few years, he became one of the richest criminals on earth. His fortune was estimated at nearly $3 billion. But success attracted attention. Eventually, authorities dismantled his operation, and his criminal empire came crashing down. Number 4. Dawood Ibrahim built one of the most powerful criminal organizations in Asia. His syndicate, known as D Company, became involved in smuggling, extortion, money laundering, and organized crime across multiple countries. Over the decades, his influence grew dramatically. His estimated wealth has been reported in the billions of dollars. What makes Ibrahim's story remarkable is his ability to evade capture for so many years. Despite international investigations and global manhunts, he remains one of the most elusive figures in criminal history. Number 3. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Born into poverty in rural Mexico, Joaquin Guzman rose to become the leader of the powerful Sinaloa cartel. Known worldwide as El Chapo, he controlled one of the largest drug trafficking organizations in history. His cartel used airplanes, tunnels, submarines, and sophisticated logistics networks to move narcotics around the globe. At one point, Forbes estimated his fortune at approximately $14 billion. But El Chapo became just as famous for his prison escapes as for his wealth. His most famous escape involved a mile-long tunnel built specifically to help him flee. Although he eventually returned to prison, his story remains legendary. Number 2. Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Amado Carrillo Fuentes earned the nickname the Lord of the Skies. The name came from his enormous fleet of aircraft used to transport cocaine. His air network allowed him to move massive quantities of drugs while generating incredible profits. At the height of his power, his fortune was estimated at around $25 billion. That made him wealthier than many legitimate business leaders of his era. His life came to a mysterious end during a plastic surgery procedure that was supposedly intended to alter his appearance. To this day, questions remain about what truly happened. Number 1. Pablo Escobar. When people think of criminal wealth, one name stands above all others: Pablo Escobar, the king of cocaine. At the height of his power during the 1980s, Escobar controlled a huge percentage of the global cocaine trade. His Medellin cartel generated astonishing amounts of money. Some reports suggest he was earning tens of millions of dollars every single day. His fortune was estimated at approximately $30 billion. Some experts believe the real number may have been even higher. Escobar had so much cash that he reportedly spent thousands of dollars each month simply replacing money damaged by moisture, mold, and rats. He owned mansions, private aircraft, luxury vehicles, and enormous estates. For years, he was one of the richest men on the planet. Yet despite his wealth, he could not buy permanent safety. In 1993, his criminal empire came to an end, but his name remains synonymous with criminal power and unimaginable wealth. And that was the top 10 richest criminals of all time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, Crime Statics, and turn on notifications for more true crime stories, mysteries, and criminal history.